Hello everyone, Darko 2012 here, and reading an article titled ACLU slams senators, the Constitution is not, quote, optional. And this was posted on the rawstory.com on January 24th, 2010. And there is a small video at the bottom of my favorite senator, Joe Lieberman, who I just made a video about, basically saying that he basically is only useful when there is an issue where some kind of freedoms will be taken away, either from Americans or from whoever. That whatever he does is going to be stripping some kind of liberties away from people. And so here we go. Oh, and it all came up because I made the video about the Massachusetts race that just went on with a Republican and Democrat, and of course the Republican won. But I was making the case that Joe Lieberman basically he didn't throw his support for anybody because he knew that the Republicans were going to win by a landslide. So he wasn't willing to give up his neutrality, I guess you could say, and throw support for someone he knew was going to win. Also, with the health care bill, with the Republican, he supports the health care bill anyway, so it doesn't even really matter. So that's why he didn't, throw support for anybody, and that's what I was getting at. That was my point, was that he'll be there and dividing issues to get support that will strip freedoms away. Well, not so much freedoms, but just due process of law and that. And so here we go. I remember I said this in the video, was that he will support Republicans just as he will Democrats, just as long as it has something to do, like I said, like fascist Republicans, neocons. He will support anything that has to do with that. And so here we go, and he'll support Democrats as long as it has to do with taking freedoms or liberties. And so here you go. You got Lieberman saying that the Christmas bomber, should have been went through the military tribunal system instead of the civil court system. So here we go. 4 U.S. senators are pursuing legislation they believe would fix the mistake President Obama made with the man who allegedly failed to blow up a Christmas Day flight into Detroit. That mistake was treating him like a serious criminal, tossing him in jail, and planning a trial. Nevertheless, Senators Joe Lieberman, Independent from Connecticut, Susan Collins, Republican from, I think, Maine, I'm not sure though, Robert Bennett, Republican, and John Ensign, Republican, are pushing legislation that would require civilian authorities to consult with intelligence leaders when taking in an accused terrorist into custody. This legislation would not deprive the president of any investigative tool, Senator Lieberman website claims. It would not preclude a decision to change or to charge a foreign terrorist in our military tribunal system or in our civilian criminal justice system. And in response, Anthony D. Romero, executive director of the American Civil Liberties Union, fired back. Quote, "It is extremely disturbing that members of the U.S. Congress are essentially calling for Obama administration officials to discard the Constitution when a terrorist suspect is apprehended, as if the Constitution should be applied on a case-by-case basis," which it is, of course. In the Lieberman press release, Senator Ensign explained that he believes informing Umar Farooq Abdul-Muttalib of his Miranda rights before condemning him to possible life in prison as perplexing as it is dangerous. But and that's the thing. He wasn't even read his Miranda rights. He just started talking. He gave them all kinds of actionable intelligence, which show that there was no direct threat or imminent threat. So he basically told them everything he told them everything that he knew before they even read him his Miranda rights. And I'll get to that other article while I link it up. This more clearly illustrates that the administration is more concerned with gently prosecuting terrorists than it is with extracting important intelligence from them. And that's the thing. They got all the intelligence that they needed from him, and they realized that he was no longer a threat. well, not no longer a threat, but that they got all the information that they could get out of him because he voluntarily gave it to him. Um, and it says that that would help them prevent future attacks and protect the citizens of this country. Terrorism is a crime, and to treat terrorism that takes place far from any battlefield as an act of war is to propose that the entire world is a battlefield, to give criminals the elevated status of warriors, and to invest whoever the current president may be with the authority to imprison a broad category of people potentially forever without ever being afforded an opportunity to defend themselves, noted ACLU's Romero. To abandon due process in terrorism cases turns the rule of law on its head and flies in the face of the values that we are fighting to protect in the first place. Our criminal justice system is fully capable of accommodating the government's legitimate security interests while at the same time providing fundamental rights to defendants. So this video was broadcast by ABC on January 3rd, 2010.
And now that Abdulmutallab is in custody, Senator
Right.
Lieberman, should he be brought to trial in federal criminal court?
No, I think that's a very serious mistake. Look, President Obama said yesterday, Abdul Muttalib was trained by Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, equipped by Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and directed by them to get on that plane and attack the United States of America. That was an act of war. He should be treated as a prisoner of war. He should be held in a military brig. And in fact, he should be questioned now and should have been ever since he was apprehended for intelligence that could help us stop the next attack or get the people in Yemen who directed him to do what he did. So yes, we should follow the rule of law, but the rule of law that is relevant here is the rule of the law of war.
And so there you go. That was him saying that he was a prisoner of war and that he should have been held so that they can find out more information. And this video I'm making is going to be a two-parter here, so I'm going to break it down for you as much as I can, as much as I can find out on this subject, because there's always more that's going on than what you can see at the surface. And what I saw beneath the surface was the promotion, like a public relations promotion of this new domestic terrorism agency, I guess you call it, or department, where it says it has this high value detainee interrogation group, also known as the HIG, should have questioned the Nigerian airline bomb incident suspect before any decisions were made on whether to place him on the civilian court system. And that's like I said, it has to do with how they classify these people, these quote terrorist suspects, because when they're in Afghanistan, all of them, they become they're called terrorists, and then they're called illegal combatants or unlawful combatants, and they're not given the title, or not the title, but they're not given the classification as a prisoner of war. So Lieberman is actually wrong. You might want to study up on that a little bit, because he's actually wrong when he says they're prisoner of war. They're actually not. That's the whole damn point. I'm going to roll into what it actually means to be, how this works, because this is a big deal, because domestic terrorism, they're trying to, what I believe is that they're going to turn all these, the Patriot Act, they're going to turn, torturing prisoners and being able to do that. And you see how they're trying to get Gitmo in Illinois. They're going to turn that inwards towards their own citizens, towards U.S. citizens, and they're going to apply all the structures, the infrastructure, like this new HIG specifically for domestic terrorists, so that the federal government supersedes everything, and so that people that talk about quote conspiracy theories would be, terrorists, and they wouldn't get a due process, they wouldn't get a jury or any of that status.